usually open. Since when do you use a bolt?
Only when I'm expecting burglars. I don't see you anymore.
I've been busy. The book.
Yes, of course, the book. Leave it.
You have junk mail here from Christmas.
You don't have to pick up after me. I can still pick up after myself.
I'm just tidying up.
Whenever you straighten up, things disappear. That's quite a lovely dress you have on.
Thank you.
Looks expensive.
It was.
That's what you wore tonight.
I wanted to look serious but sexy.
How'd it go?
Actually, it was fun. It was fun.
Good.
A couple of candy wrapper crinklers I wanted to kill, but...
I used to love readings. I always found them exhilarating. I love playing all the parts and getting laughs. I love the laughter. I just don't know how you know.
Yes, I do. This undergrad cornered me afterwards, saying she couldn't wait to meet me. It's really weird finding myself in a position of being pursued when all my life I've been the pursuer. Ruth, would you like a cup of tea?
Yeah, I would. You know, Lisa, the first day of every class I ever taught, 32 years, 32 first days, I scanned the faces and tried to predict out there who would one day dazzle me. Who will thrill and astonish me with their promise? Who will it be this year? Unformed, talented, as susceptible to my wisdom as I was to their youth. And none I loved as much as you.
Ruth?
I read your book.
Yes, I figured.
Well, most of it anyway. My eyes are stinging. There are tons of typos in the copy you gave me, tons.
I know, it's an advanced copy.
I hope you're planning on correcting them.
Of course they are.
I've marked the margins anyway. There are some truly egregious errors in there.
I know.
Lisa, if you had only asked me what I thought, if you had only asked me,
Ruth.
I would have told you you were making a mistake.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle it.
Stay away from Delmore. Leave him out of it. He's mine, he's not yours.
Ruth!
If only you'd have asked my advice. You're not good enough. If you'd have asked my advice, I would have told you. But you didn't ask. Instead, you skulked like a thief. You avoided me for 2.5 years.
No, I
You
didn't.
evaded my questions. You failed to look me in the eye.
Ruth!
I could have used your friendship. But you were too busy going through my pantyhose, scavenging through my personal effects.
That's not what I did.
Then why did you skulk? Why couldn't you look at me?
I needed some distance.
Distance?
I needed to separate from you.
That you did, my darling. That you did.
You would know what it's like to get out from under you. From under your influence, you would possibly know if
Everything
that's
I
right.
shared.
Ruth.
What a fool I was.
No!
Here, it was all material to you. That's all it was.
That's not true.
Here I was regaling the stories of my life like the pitiful woman you've made me out to be.
That isn't true. I was listening. I was cherishing every minute.
Oh, I'm sure.
Listen to me. If you had disappeared, I don't know what I would have done. How would I have written it? I might have lost you, and I would have lost the book too.
Oh, poor thing.
I was scared.
Poor thing.
I didn't know what to do. You were the one person who could advise me, and I couldn't discuss it with you.
Clearly you listened. You set it all out for the world to see.
What did I do that any good writer wouldn't do? That you yourself wouldn't do? A story grabbed me and wouldn't let go.
Grab you. You seized it. You no moral conscience.
I have a conscience.
Do you? Do you? You went ahead and did it anyway. That's what's so remarkable.
What did you teach me? You taught me to be ruthless.
So to speak.
If something captured your eye, you taught me, grab it. Like a good photojournalist, go in and shoot. Don't turn away from me. That's what you taught me. Don't worry about feelings. Feeling is sentimental. God, no, you mustn't be sentimental.
You've crossed the line, though, sweetie. You've crossed the line.
Why? Because it involves you.
I would think that would enter into it, yes. I was a fellow writer telling you these stories. You were my friend, goddammit.
I wish you wouldn't use past tense.
Oh, use your own goddamn life. If that isn't rich enough, too bad. That's not my problem.
Ruth, you make me sound like the most mercenary person imaginable. The last thing I wanted was to hurt you.
Was it? Oh, I don't know. I think you might be deceiving yourself, dear.
How?
I think there's something terribly Freudian going on here, don't you? I think you wanted to destroy me.
I wanted to honor you.
Honor me?
It was my gift to you.
Your gift?
Yes, I was honoring you for everything that you had given me.
Well, I I don't want your gift.
What exactly is so offensive to you, Ruth? I don't understand.
You don't.
No.
You've stolen my stories, Lisa. My stories. What am I without my stories? I'm as good as dead.
But they aren't your stories, Ruth. Not anymore. They stopped being your stories when you told them to me. You don't own them.
Oh, no?
You're part of my life now, Ruth. Our lives intersect.
Oh,
my
yeah,
experience includes your experience.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell your stories, not the way you would. I couldn't possibly do that. But my book doesn't pretend to be the truth.
Oh.
Miriam isn't you.
I know that line. I've used it.
All right, she's as much me as she is you.
What, that lonely, pitiful woman pining for Delmore Schwartz?
No! That young, impressionable young disciple who wants nothing more than the high regard of
Is that what you were going for?
Yes.
I don't see that one at all.
That's because you don't want to see it. Miriam isn't pitiful. She's funny, vital, self-ironical. She sees the affair for what it truly was in ways you obviously cannot.
What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, you're the one that calls it the shining moment of your life, for Christ's sakes.
Who the hell are
You wear like a masochistic badge of honor. You've let that one brief affair define your entire life.
I have not. That is absurd.
You're like a professional war widow, or Miss Havisham in her wedding dress.
That's insulting. This is my life, Danny. You've appropriated my life. Maybe you thought I was fair game.
Ruth,
Maybe you thought I'd be dead by now.
how can you say that to me? That's a horrible thing to say.
Don't act so shocked, my darling. I'm sure it occurred to you. It would have occurred to me. You've taken my life and you've turned it into pulp.
How do you call it pulp?
Forgive me, dear. That's really what it is. Gossip more grist for the mill.
Can't you tell it was done with love?
Those sex scenes, Lisa. Oh my dear God, didn't I teach you anything? What did I tell you about sex scenes? I always read like automated mechanics, darling bodies and parts.
Forget it.
His wet wool coat smothering her. His bear-like hugeness pressing into her. Deeper and deeper and deeper. He was impotent, darling. The great love of my life, your romantic hero. He was so destroyed by drinking Dexedrine by then. There was no sex. Not sex as you so grotesquely imagined it anyway.
So what? My book is fiction.
Your book is shit! You know what I would do if I were you, darling? If I were you, I'd buy back all the copies, every single one, and set a nice big book.
If I was in your place, if my life inspired a disciple of mine to write about it, I would be gratified.
Would you?
I wouldn't be doing this.
But your book isn't any good, Lisa.
A lot of people would disagree.
Pulp it, shred it.
You know I can't do that.
I'll work out a deal with a publisher, they'll take a bath on it anyway.
I can't believe you're doing this to me. You know how vulnerable I am. My first novel is being
At
published.
least then you take the loss and chalk it up to experience. Because if you don't, I'm going to do everything I can to stop it.
Stop it.
Yes, stop it, stop it. I've spoken to my lawyer.
You what?
Doesn't that sound corny? But I have spoke to him today.
Oh, Ruth, this is foolishness.
Is it?
I've done nothing wrong. You have no legal ground.
I'm going to make a really big stink.
You don't want to do that.
Oh, I do. I have to. Look, you've given me no choice.
You'll only get the opposite result. People will want to buy my book.
No, people have got to know I was robbed. People have got to know that.
You don't need that kind of publicity. It'll be humiliating. A great teacher suppressing her students, the champion of free speech. It reeks of professional jealousy.
What have you done to me?
You wanted me to write about him, didn't you? Don't talk about it. Write it. That was the first lesson you taught me.
Oh, please, you're going to throw that in my face?
Telling a story takes away the need to write it.
You actually believe that shit?
Of course I believe it, Ruth. You taught it to me. When you said it out loud. When you released it. I knew you were giving it to me.
Giving it to you?
You wanted me to use it.
Bullshit. That has got to be the worst argument for theft I've ever heard. What are you saying? I left the window open?
I'm not saying it was conscious.
Look, I'm perfectly capable of writing my own stories, thank you very much.
Face it, Ruth, you were never going to write this one.
How do you know that?
I'm sorry, but it's true.
How do you know I haven't already written it? How do you know I haven't already written it?
Ruth.
Maybe it's here. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's right here.
Ruth, please.
Maybe I've already written it. Maybe I've already written it just because I didn't want to.
Don't do this. This is not about you and me, and you know it.
Oh no, what's it about?
It's about death.
Death. Death. Is it? I see.
You're angry at death.
I'm angry at death.
And I don't blame you, Ruth.
How kind.
Please don't be angry with me. The last thing I wanted was for you to be angry with me. I know the past few years have been a terribly tough time for you. And I know you've not been feeling well.
I feel fine, Lisa.
This isn't you, Ruth. It's the disease talking.
I see.
It's clouded your thinking. You've displaced your anger onto me, and if that's what you need to do, that's fine. I'll take a beating. But I'm not your enemy, Ruth. I love you.
You love me.
Yes.
Let's go home. Let's go home.
What?
I can't talk to you anymore.
Don't say that.
Our trust has been broken. My dear young friend turned out to be a spy.
Please, Ruth, we can talk about this.
Look, can you do me a favour? I'll take out the trash with you. I've got a leaky bag